feels very great to see Eberiche Eze in the news. Arsenal agreed £67.5 million deal to sign Eberiche Eze without a talk back. And that's the news. Arsenal close to agreeing a deal with Crystal Palace to sign England international forward Eberiche Eze. Spurs have held talks with Crystal Palace and felt they have an agreement to sign Eberiche Eze, but have moved on to other targets in the championship. Possibly Arsenal understood to be assessing extent of knee injury suffered by German international forward Kai Havertz. Crystal Palace instead £27.1 million to bring Olise. That's how much they invested to bring in Olise from Reading and Eze also from QPR for both the championship. Now let's talk about sold for. How much Crystal Palace have made on this deal and what we see for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace sold Michael Olise to Bayern Munich for £53 million. So a big signing to say. Now Crystal Palace also sold Eberiche Eze. Will be selling Eberiche Eze to Arsenal for the region of 7 to 9 million pounds generally. We'll have it to bring to you on the screen so you can see for yourself fully. 105 profit from just 2 players bought from the championship. Crystal Palace for me are really doing a very, very great business. Eberiche Eze to Arsenal. Verbal agreement in place between all parties. Crystal Palace to receive package in excess of £67.5 million as Eze preferred Arsenal over Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal win raised over Tottenham, being in advanced talk for days, and now it's been never sealed for Crystal Palace. You have on your screen, that's the sale for Crystal Palace. But we have to bring you Arsenal all-time by, you can say, summer signings and how much they've spent so far. Eberiche Eze is expected to play for Crystal Palace tonight. Today might be the last day before undergoing his medical at Arsenal. Tottenham also considering offering Eberiche Eze, getting to signing from Crystal Palace, all because they want to get that man. But Richarlison has been in the news for a maybe switch, but that will never play out. So Eberiche Eze would be in the stand, hopefully for Arsenal, when they play against Leeds United by the weekend. Following talks last night, Arsenal are convinced that Eberiche Eze prefers to join them over Tottenham Hotspur. £67.5 million package offered to Crystal Palace with easier add-ons and faster payment terms to try Spurs. Negotiations are underway and agreement is now. Spurs also were on the verge of completing a deal to sign the England international in a deal worth around £60 million, but Arsenal accelerated their negotiations on Wednesday with Palace delaying. It is understood that boyhood Ghana fan Eberiche Eze, who also played in the club's academy, went back on his agreement with Spurs to order to seal that move, and he's not going to play for the other side. Talking about the Tottenham Hotspur Danny Levy's team. VOP TV Sports confirmed that the Gunners and Palace have now agreed a deal in principle that will see Eze join for £67.5 million, a record fee sale for the Eagles. Let's bring you before we talk about Eberiche's highlights, you have on your screen Victor Gyökeres from Sporting. That's how much Arsenal have spent so far. So what is left for Arsenal? A lot of people say they need the Messiah, and the Messiah happens to be one player, and that's about Victor Gyökeres. He had a very bad outing in his first game, but that doesn't justify him not doing well for this season. Arsenal major summer signings. Victor Gyökeres from Sporting bought for £63.5 million. Noni Madueke from Chelsea, £52 million. Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, £51 million. Christian Norgard from Brentford, £15 million. Kepa Arrizabalaga, Chelsea, £5 million. And now Eberiche Eze is in the news from Crystal Palace for a fee agreed upon £67.5 million. So how do we look at Arsenal come next season? Or this season already, sorry, this is the word. This season, Arsenal played their first game against Manchester United, and they won that very game. They were on the better side, but they got the result. Now, I'm just thinking within myself, and I'm thinking about the way Arsenal will have to play come this season. We just might be saying the back line, the way it goes, but we know the midfield happens to be Martin Zubimendi, Martin Odegaard, and then we have to see, Declan Rice, so advancing high. Then up front is where the talk happens to be. Bukayo Saka from the right, Gyökeres, of course, as the number 9, and we just might be saying Eberiche Eze from the left side. Now, Eberiche Eze has a lot of attributes to bring to Arsenal. He's also a threat to Martin Odegaard. We understand that the skipper of the side, but that doesn't change the story. Odegaard look untouchable, but with Eze, it will be a formidable force, and Arsenal, for me, are good enough to go. Eberiche Eze, boyhood club, Arsenal fan, academy boy, now making a move just right there to the Emirates, and it means that by Sunday when Arsenal play Leeds United at home, we will be seeing Eberiche Eze possibly on the stand. So tonight, being Thursday, would be the last time we just might be seeing Eberiche Eze play for Crystal Palace. They've sold a lot of players, but I feel like the key guys are leaving. Maybe Giant Mateta might be the next. Olise is out. Eberechi Eze is next, and then maybe the throw is just breaking. So Mateta, I don't know what's the fate for the Frenchman, but we know the story that Eze is a good player to go. Yes, welcome to the Sports Republic show. My name is Kizzy K. We had to bring you that very, very, very breaking news because right now, £67.5 million agreed upon. Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. That's a verbal agreement, and it's all done. Just a highlight about Eberechi Eze. You want to know how good he's been? Is he very fantastic in what he does? He can play as a number 10. He can play from the left side. He can play so wide. That's the Eberechi Eze you have on the screen. That's what he loves to do very well. Dazzle past players, very skillful, energetic. He knows how to score goals. He's won the FA Cup. He won the Community Shield for himself for Glasgow side. Look how he goes past players. He doesn't think twice when he gets, oh, what a player like Eze. He's just, what's the word? He's class. That's the word, he's class. When you watch Eze play, you know within yourself that you've got a player. You signed a player for your club side. And I think this one for me, is a very good signing. We did see him at the Community Shield. They missed a penalty, but star players do miss penalty. Mo Salah missed out, and watch this. Now, this is one of them. And against Chelsea, we saw that one where he scored. But the controversial talk about them, Gay and also Moise Caicedo, all showed a lot. But it's about a player who can shoot from the outside. It's about a player who can drive wide. It's about a player who is clinical in finishing. It's about a player who's got the charisma. It's about a player that knows the Premier League. Nobody can tell me, nobody can say, nobody can look into my eyes and tell me that Arsenal are not good enough to go this season. Arsenal look very, very high. They have always played second fiddle. So with what we are saying now, I just would say, a lot of people say, God forbid, look, watch the way he goes past players. He's skillful. He has that passing rhythm. Now watch Eze. The way he rolls to the ball, run in space between time, get past players, turn around is beautiful. And that's just what about Eze. Now watch this. He owns this game. And the least of all is that you can't even get the ball off his feet. He's a mad chance on free kick takes. He's a set piece king. He's a what's the word about Eze? So let's just watch out for Eberechi Eze of Arsenal. And because this happened in the early hours of today. Now I thought to myself, what would have happened if Eze had said yes to Thomas Frank's team? Daniel Levy wasted a lot of time. Tottenham Hotspur were so much delaying. I felt that for the fact that James Maddison got injured, they should have made us call in time. They kept on delaying, they kept on dilly-dallying, and that now is a different story that we will have to see Eberechi Eze. So I don't know the jersey number he'll be wearing anyways, but as Crystal Palace, he wears the number 10, ball from QPR Rangers. He has shown the world that I'm of a very high quality, and I need to play in this club side. So no Eze at Tottenham Hotspur. And Tottenham Hotspur, I feel so bad for them as well, right? Can I tell the why? Let's get it and just have to flip it. Tottenham Hotspur, I tell you the reason why I feel like they made a mistake. That's the word. They've got a lot of signings. They've got a good team to play. They played against Paris Saint-Germain. They lost in a penalty shootout. But we saw a style of play by Thomas Frank. You're playing Danso. You're playing the World Cup winner Romero. Then you're playing Mickey Van der Ven at 3 at the back. You go high. Papi Sarr was great to watch. Pedro Porro, Spencer. The midfield was Bentancur, and also I think Papi Matissa. Now that was like his best game, and I saw Tottenham Hotspur that was cool to go. They've got Johnson as well. They started Richarlison. Now, just because of how much they need Eberechi Eze, they were also thinking of possibly making a Richarlison in the news. Then to do what? Just to make that switch and bring in Eze, but all to no avail. It never paid off. So let's congratulate Arsenal for what they've done so far. Bring the likes of Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, Mosquera, Christian Norgard, and I think that is what is missing Arsenal. That depth is what has been missing. So we wish them one of the best as they now have Eberechi Eze to their side. But quickly off the news, let's talk about the Nigerian news. It wasn't long we talked about the MPFL player, whose name is Brown Ideye. Brown Ideye has been, what's the word? He's a legend to say. World Cup winner, no. Nations Cup winner, yes. 2013, the last time we clinched the Nations Cup trophy under his best in memory, Stephen Keshi. He was part of that squad. He was an integral part, and he was quite young at that point. Ex-Super Eagles striker Brown Ideye finally has announced his retirement from professional football. Ideye confirmed this on his decision on a post on X, formerly known as Twitter. In the words of Ideye, he said, "After much thoughts and consideration with mixed emotions, I have decided to retire from professional football. I would like to thank God for the extent and the talent I have and the long career I've enjoyed. I thank my family and friends for their unwavering love, the support, and the understanding till this date. He is 36. He features for club side in England, also in the Greek side, the China side, Ukrainian side, and also in Spain during his playing span. Ideye, who won 28 caps and scored 6 times for Nigeria, was also part of the squad that won the 2013 African Cup of Nations in South Africa. He added by saying, "Football will always be part of my life as I enter my next chapter." Now, what's his next chapter? Well, for the fact that he won the Nations Cup, I call him a legend, right? Let's respect him. Yeah, he used to have this mohawk like this. A lot of people say galas. If you watch France '98, I think the first player that had that hairdo was Davala. You gotta recall, the Turkish international. So Ideye had that hairstyle, hairdo stuff. But I like the part where the Nigerian Football Federation sent a message with respect to Ideye, and then you are asking question: is Ideye good enough to go? Is he the right man to be talked about? How good is he? Do we like what he has done so far? Is it quality to be talked about? But for the fact that you won the Nations Cup with Nigeria, I would say that's enough reason to say let's respect our legend. But my problem happens to be just one thing about Nigerian players. You know what? They are always having this problem when they are done playing the game. And anytime they're done playing the game, most of them, administrative-wise, don't do it so well. In the fact that they don't want to get schooled more with the thumbnails on the editorial now. I don't know if it's been there for a while, but just you check it out on Ideye's editorial. You can see the thumbnail. It works. Now, but Ideye is one man that you begin to say, how good has it been with the Super Eagles? He won the Nations Cup, so let's give him that credit and respect his decision, and that's just what it is. But aside that, from one player to the other, linking with the Super Eagles news, I saw this one, and it's about who? It's about Nigerian Super Eagles forward Bayer Leverkusen striker Victor Boniface is on the verge of sealing a move to Italian Serie A giant AC Milan. Boniface has been a revelation in the German Bundesliga since arriving a few seasons ago, quickly establishing himself as one of the league's most exciting attacker. Despite battling with injuries last season, he still managed to hit double figures in goal for Leverkusen. But reports right now have it in Italy indicating that AC Milan sporting director Ideye have submitted a proposal to Leverkusen's board with negotiations currently under review. It is also understood that Boniface has reached an agreement in principle on personal terms with the Rossoneri's. Should the transfer go through, the 23-year-old striker will link up with his compatriot Samuel Chukwueze at the San Siro. So we wait to know if that deal will be out, but I think it's a good one for Boniface. He's not going to think twice. Boniface was one of those players that can be talked about when you say making a move from a switch, like a club switch. Al Nassr came for him. Do you understand? But that deal did not pull out. And now he's in the decision of wanting to go to AC Milan. If Boniface heads to AC Milan, would this be the best for the Nigerian striker? I will tell you yes. You know why? Because when he talked about not going to Al Nassr, I could see all over him how unhappy he was. Now, I think he wants to make that move for himself. Is he good enough to go? Yes. But AC Milan has not really been a bad club for African players. I just feel like they need to find their footing. They need to find their rhythm. Now, with Boniface in the news, for me, welcome development. He needs to make the move. Bayer Leverkusen is not like a bad club side, but you need to update yourself. You need to upgrade yourself. And his style of game is quite slow. He's slow-key with the ball. So I would advise him going to AC Milan would not be a bad one. And don't forget, he's coming from a big club side in Germany. It might not be big like you think, but when you talk about Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, what clubs are next? Bayer Leverkusen, a very big side that we've known that will ever stay in the German Bundesliga. So we are hoping to see the best of that very man, talking about Victor Boniface, how he envisaged and how he gets to play for what club side, and he will be playing for AC Milan, time tells. But quickly on the notes now, let's leave this one and tell you about Chelle's decision before we talk about the news that is just everywhere about Eric Chelle, if he will be sacked by the Nigerian Football Federation. But I would say they don't even dare. That's like the last thing for me. You could say the least thing I would advise them to do. But let's talk about Nigerian qualifiers game or qualifying game coming up. We have to play Rwanda, and after Rwanda we'll play against South Africa. Head coach of the senior national team, Eric Chelle, didn't include any new player in the list of players called up to the senior national team of Nigeria for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. And that game will be against Rwanda and also against South Africa respectively. The coach has already sent out provisional invitation to around 40 players, from where he will pick the final 23 players who will prosecute both games for Nigeria, which is crucial to their hope of making it to the tournament. We exclusively gathered that the coach has decided to stick with majority of the players who have played in the 5 games he has handled since he became the manager. This is not bad. This is not bad. This is not bad. Eric Chelle not involving new players, it's the coach's decision. I think I would like to advise the Nigerian Football Federation to always allow anyone that they get on the job to do what they want to do for themselves. In other words, they are in the best position to decide what they want. Because when they sign a contract with a nation, they know what is at stake. Now, signing the contract with the Nigerian Football Federation, Nigeria is a country that likes to be distracted. Sorry to say that word. I might be sounding nasty, but that's what I feel. On the sports world, we are always distracted. We are always distracted. When it feels like something good is about to pan out, something from nowhere just distracts it. So for Eric Chelle, he has decided against calling up new players due to the dicey nature of both games. And what, again, he's feeling that players with experience are what he needs in the team, and who are also used to playing under pressure with the crows of the team. Eric Chelle is targeting 6 points from both games, so it's a double-header encounter, which he believes will put the team in a strong position to qualify for the tournament, especially if group leaders South Africa are docked 3 points, 3 goals by FIFA for fielding in an ineligible player against Lesotho, who happens to be Teboho Mokoena. But I don't know how we keep talking about this. It's one of our prayers. We like to pray, I like to say. But who would make the call? I'm still yet to find out what is Eric Chelle's criteria for selection. Am I a fan of Eric Chelle? Yes, I am. Is he the top man that we need for the job? Of course not. Does he know the African football? Yes, he does. Let's allow him do his job. Personally for him, the Franco-Malian knows everything is at stake. If he does not get Nigeria to the World Cup, just maybe, that might be the end. But we also have the Nations Cup coming up in Morocco, 21st December. It starts 2025. Let's just pray that we make it to the World Cup, because it will be a disastrous one. Looking at our group, we found ourselves in a very precarious situation. Our situation is not even good to be talked about. Our destiny does not even lie on our hands. Our destiny lies on the hands of our opponent. What happens if the 3 points is being deducted from the 13? South Africa will still have 10. And who tells you they are not preparing so well to be at the World Cup? It's the biggest Mondial in football. That's the biggest football tournament. Every nation wants to be at the World Cup. So Eric Chelle, for me, knows that he wants to be at the World Cup. The Nigerian players also, do they know what it takes to be at the World Cup? You know, I keep looking at the national team and I ask questions about who will make the call. I look at some of those players, I look at some of the big names we have in our team. Majority of them know nothing about the World Cup. Majority of the team have not been to the World Cup. Majority of the team does not know how the World Cup feeling goes. The last time we clinched in the World Cup was, not clinching, sorry, the last time we went to a World Cup, right, it was in Russia. And that was 2018. That's a long time ago. You can do your mathematics. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. How many years? The last one we missed out, consecutive World Cup miss, will be a disastrous one to the nation. So all of these Falcons are doing well, the Tigers are doing well, all of this good news we are celebrating would not make any sense if the World Cup unfolds for next year. USA, Canada, Mexico bringing the world together, and Nigeria happens not to be at the World Cup. That will be a very bad one. But from Eric Chelle's news to Eric Chelle's news, let's tell you what we heard. According to the report, Eric Chelle says he heard about plans by the NFF to sack him. Before I even move on, let me even say this. That's the worst thing that we will ever do, to let the Franco-Malian leave. Not now. Like I've already told you, we are a countryside in the world of sports that likes to be distracted when it feels like something good is about to happen. I've asked a lot of people on the show before now, and I said it was 6 games to go before then, and now 4 games to go. We won 1 against Rwanda. We drew against Zimbabwe when I felt like we've gotten the results. Now, the last player that scored in Rwanda before Victor Osimhen was Obafemi Martins. That's years back. And we went to Kigali and we stole the show. Osimhen was just fantastic to watch. A lot of people were saying, Eric Chelle, you are the next big thing. You're doing so well. We like you. You're doing all that. Okay. Sounds to be celebrated. But now, against Zimbabwe, we drew. I felt like we should have sealed that one. People were blaming Eric Chelle. They were blaming Ekong. Now, what happens? Because right now, no new player will be selected. And we are looking at a team that have defensive crisis. Semi Ajayi is ruled out of this encounter. Trus Ekong, the skipper of the side, is also doubtful for this encounter because right now he's not had preseason games with his team. He's been training personally. Oh, that's the word, personally. If you know what I mean. Even if they are injured, they can still train. But with the club side, no. He is the captain of the side. Now, Calvin Bassey happens to be the only player who has been a regular, who was part of the Nations Cup back in 2023, that was played in 2024 in Ivory Coast, that happens to be in that team. Now, I'm thinking within myself, Igor Ogbu plays for Slavia Prague. He's in the news. He might get a call. What's the other guy's name? Awazim plays for Nantes. I watched him play against Paris Saint-Germain. It was fantastic to watch. We have also the Auxerre man, and you know, so it's just a lot to talk about the back line. We are facing a lot. That's why sometimes I'm always so I'm just bleeding. Like, let's have Adara Bioyo. We need him. See, I don't know what you make. You might say he's 27. 27 is young for me, for a defender. We need Tosin Adara Bioyo. But for those we have in the team, they are not bad to go. They are good to go. But whose report do you believe? Eric Chelle has the final call. He makes the final cut. He decides on who he should invite to his team. Now let's talk about the news that says Eric Chelle will be sacked. He'll be fired. Now he said, I've heard a lot of stories about them wanting to sack me and replace me with someone else. I have known about this one. And that's about Eric Chelle in response to the NFF president's statement. In the words of the Franco Maran, he said, I know quite well that I can be fired after one match. You know why I'm happy about this one? I'm happy about this news because personally he has known. See, even before you got on the job, let's be factual. Let's say the way it is. Nigeria is my country, but I'm not going to be sentimental. If you want to ask me and you want me to tell you the truth, this job or that job was very, very heavy. Some coaches will turn down that job. I will tell you the truth. You cannot tell me you're taking up a job that you know that everything looks bad even before you came in. So I, for one, would think that Eric Chelle came to prove a point. He has never been the best coach in the world. See, if I count top 50 coaches, I'm sorry to say, I will not count Eric Chelle. Do you know? Top 50 coaches, I will not count him. So 30, I won't count him. But I'm looking at the news that says he might be fired. He said, according to what we heard, report says, I know quite well that I can be fired after one match. This is the life in football. But if they decide to do that, they must be prepared to pay up the remainder of my contract. Now, see, I don't even know how to say this. Nigeria and one country will be say, I see say we they give people. Now we have in Nigeria, now we they give people. Wait in the corner. We they make people they know people. Nigeria, we they give choice. You don't understand? Best when nobody know from nowhere will just enter. See, now Labadia, you don't know Labadia? Labadia was a good player. During his playing days in Germany, he was fantastic. But he won't use us to do test run. The Nigerian Football Federation have also faulted them in one part. What they told us is not what they are giving us. Let me even say it. I don't like the part where you tell the people, looking at the people they are governing, the Nigerian Football Federation, not an individual owned, but known and owned by the federation. Not be one person get them. What they told us is not what we are saying. They told us that they would get us a world-class coach. And I began to start, I was looking around. I was waiting to see who is this world-class coach. And at the end of the day, we have Eric Chelle. Do you know what it took? Do you know how much they wasted? And you want this? See, someone said to me, Kizike, for area, they tell me, me Nigeria, don't forget about World Cup. Me they try to go win Nations Cup. And I looked at what he was saying. I thought twice. I knew what my friend was saying was because he knows that it would take a long time. It would take a period for you as a coach to groom these players together and make sure they are part of the World Cup. I'm not saying we can't make it to the World Cup, but we are in a precarious position. Our situation is poor, looking at how far we want to be. Who told you that South Africa is not preparing? Yesterday, I had a show on the TV. Yeah, it was here. I went to the comment section on YouTube and I was reading a lot. And I heard someone wrote, I think it was a South African. He came on the DM or the YouTube possible, what you call it, the writer where the live chat. And he said something, he said, South Africa to the world. Up South Africa. They are also celebrating the news that Nigeria might not make it to the World Cup. So they know everything could be at stake. They want to play at the World Cup. And Chelle said, when I came to Nigeria, I didn't come here because of money. I was earning more in my last job. I came to Nigeria because this is a very big team and I want to prove something, to achieve something. I came here for the challenge, and that's true. Even if I don't know Eric Chelle before, let's say, even if I don't know him before, but taking over this job, I don't think any African country comes close to quality. Nobody. Put it out there. Let's say it now. There's no African nation in Nigeria, African nation in the world right now. Sorry, that's the word. He got me making a mistake. There's no African nation in the world today that has more quality player than Nigeria. We have the quality. So all we've been saying, we need a coach that can put these boys in order. Let's not even judge him with what's it called? The chant that was played. I mean, chant 2024 ongoing. We call it chant 2024. We'll play 2025. Tanzania, Kenya. Uganda. Let's not even judge him with that one, because it was just a man who happens to gather these players together. A lot of people are saying Eric Chelle should have left that chant boys. Make Ilechukwu and Ogumodede handle them, because they handle the qualifiers. But I said to people, Eric Chelle will be thinking twice. Whether you like it or not, believe it or take it, Eric Chelle will be having a pressure on how to make it with Nigeria to the World Cup. He said, I came here for the challenge. Nothing has changed. People have already written us off. With Nigeria falling so far, they failed to win. See, even before he came, that's what. Even before he came, how did the team be before? And he said, I'm concentrating on preparing my players for the remaining 4 matches that we have. Let me tell you, a draw is not an option. You need to win all your games before you can make it to the World Cup. Automatically, the man who gets it right, if he ends today, South Africa will make it to the World Cup. Now, the intercontinental playoff that we are thinking, some say it's the second coming of Jesus Christ. For those that believe, second coming of Jesus Christ, that's what it looks like. If we don't make it out to the top, we might play the continental playoff. But you just cannot play that continental playoff without being on a high margin. Look at our point. Look at our level. When I look at that group, I'm always asking myself, who should have known that Nigeria, the countryside that I pledged to all my it's just funny. I pledged Nigeria with all my strength, and all of this, yeah, it works. But looking at the scenario, looking at the way it is now, we might not make it to the World Cup. Bitter truth. See, more not they take and they change and say we can see we feel not go World Cup. And for Osimhen, then maybe say if you look their career, just check them now, check all of them. Well, many of them never play World Cup. How then go feel? So sometimes I begin to say it's a game of mentality, it's a game of the mind, it's a game that they need to understand, not just about playing for the badge. Personally, it made a carry for head like antenna. They need to carry the team for head like Gele, because me say my question will come, where are you gonna run to? Where I go wrong go if Nigeria not go World Cup? The last time I was roaming around, kicks will not come, offers will not come. Get some countries, as media presenter, you're not going to send invitation for pocket, because you should be talking about other sides. But you talk about gigs, talk about branding, all of these things will happen when Nigeria is part of it. And the NFF told us, when we go to meet sponsors, they say, what's Nigeria's position? Nigeria go World Cup, I will not go World Cup, but they fear. It's even better you start saying, because you start saying it's a 50-50 thing, because when we asked, the last time I had some of the legends on the show, and also on the phone, chit-chat, and I was asking, Baba, tell me the truth. Do you think Nigeria will make it to the World Cup? They told me it's a 50-50 chance. But Eric Chelle today, this morning and yesterday, believes that he said, I think that we are going to surprise a lot of people. And this was said at the Marriott's Hotel camp at the Dar es Salaam, where he resumed the conversation on the 14th of August. But then, well, the key thing is that we know where we met the team. We know where he met the team. We cannot assess him with only one issue. As you've all known, he met the team in a difficult situation. But if he continues the way that he is going, and he gets the result that he's supposed to get going forward, qualification is one thing and his performance is another thing. We, the team, we will see. Let's see how it goes. If there's any hope for the future, we will take it from there. But I'm still pleading That's the worst thing that we ever do, letting Eric Chelle go. If they sack this man, Baba, they tell you, you see this man, if they sack Eric Chelle, I'm so sorry for Nigerian football. If they sack Eric Chelle, because when I say Nigerian football, I'm tagging everything, because the NPF, everything, and then they did on that Super Eagles. That's the biggest brand. Falcons don't win WAFCON, they win like 10 times, how much did they give them? How many sponsors they inside? But when the Super Eagles is making it to the World Cup, if they eventually makes it to the World Cup, then I tell you, the sky will not only be our limit, but rather our stepping stone. But from the NFF president, he said, we are not praying for that. But if we have disastrous performance with him before that time, it will be you journalists that will be telling us all kinds of things. Who journalists be? Who journalists help? Is there anything that we can even say that will make the NFF change their mind? In an hour, many times we don't talk about radio, for TV, we don't talk many things, don't work. In an hour, many times. And then Richelle said a word. He said, I have had a lot. I have not had a very much contact with the NFF president and the general secretary since I took charge of the team. We met at the very beginning, of course, and a few times afterwards, but I have been alone. He said, I've been alone largely as I go on doing my job. But Eric Chelle, let me advise you. Nobody go believe if you not believe yourself. Even you will take the job, you know the job when you collect. Abi? Super Eagles job, not be small picking job. Oh. I think one thing that enticed him, or one thing that made him feel like I need to be part of this one, is the fact that we have quality. Not the only quality we get value. Go check the value, check the start. Go check the value of the Super Eagles players. Have you know Osimhen? Do you know how much Osimhen is earning in Turkey? You know how much? Turkey, they call it. You know how much? Now Lookman did for the news. Lookman was bought. I know Atalanta does not want to sell him, sell their best players to arch rivals for that amount of money. He was bought 9.3 million euros from RB Leipzig. And he made a move to the Serie A. He's shown the world that I'm quality. Where did he be fight? Did they value him 45 million euro? Some say 35. So they call the price as a market review for Lagos here. No, now. Let's get things right. Now, but regardless, his value is big. I've been on here, the cabin and didn't go Besiktas. So I've been on, what they call him, Iwobi and brother, can the Nigerian players have quality. How many Egyptians they play well with the year? Umar Mamouche and Salah, you will go find the rest now. They are playing in their league because their leagues are advanced far to the Nigerian side. But I'm just looking at the qualities we have in our team. So it would take a manager that knows the job well to groom these guys, bring them together, and make them make sense. Not be saying you want to go coach where your career come which day you want to come out. I mean, I know you're trying. Because if you don't want to go walk up, now you want to start. If you ask my opinion as a pundit on the show, I'll tell you whether we'll make it to the World Cup or not. Let Eric Chelle stay. If you don't trust him, why you give him work? You don't trust him, why you give him? If you don't trust him, see, if you don't trust me, don't put me on the job. Now he said I earn more than I was earning in my former place. And I know he moved other African clubs or Nigerian team. He came to Nigeria, he took the job. He knew that everything can go south. But then the man collect the job. So I beg, if you get what I want beg now this morning, if I come up for TV, now make na give a chance. May he do what he want to do for himself. May I not go rush and like to know to. Allow him do. See, let him have his. So blame him for the right reasons. Don't fault people for the wrong reasons. If you start, okay, now let's even say it. Some say, coach boy day, coach player day. They get committee members. Now you can't tell me say you carry one player. Say Eric Chelle, hello. That's what they say do. Now so Eric Chelle, I get one boy. Say now. I like the party saying no new player. It's this coach. That's the coach decision. No new player. Make I work with the women I know, because if they say they lose, now all of us go lose joy. So I think Eric Chelle is good to go. So this news or speculation about whether they go sack or they go sack, Eric Chelle, just forget about it. Do your job well. Give what you can give. Win all your matches. But me at the thinker, even me waiting for TV at the thinker, we'll go win Rwanda and I'm going to do some permutation, because now only when Nigeria get match, now they back calculator where we get match, you win this one, you lose. How do you let your destiny be in the hands of your opponent? From Pesero matter, if you need the judge. See how many minutes, how many hours, how many months they waste. We just they wait. We just they wait. That's how we just wait. Now maybe they tell people every time. Say the best word where tenant with the old landlord they talk. Now only one thing. Please, sir, give me some time. Why can Nigeria not give Eric Chelle some time? You just enter a job and I know they talk. Maybe I don't leave and get a chance. Maybe you do. See, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for Eric Chelle. Now waiting and give us now they take. But for the fact they don't put up for the job, we don't need to call they talk too much. Now just to give us support. He had a very bad outing with what's it called? In the chanting, with the chanting. And they told us that's the best. He told us. See, Nigeria with the talk, All those boys that they bring come, many of them go from Remo Stars. You know, I can't forget say Ogumwa the day Daniel na coach of Remo Stars. But then I'm not justifying it by that way. I believe that the Charm Boys, that's the best players that we can bring from our league. And Richard also gave an excuse. He said some of the players who are our best got club offers abroad, Europe, they come out. But not be down with the talk. Leave Charm first. That don't pass. We not do well. But thank God say we score goal. That call goal of pride, goal of dignity. We go chance say we not score na bat, you know. But we can go 2-0. So keep that one for one side. But I'm only talking about the coach giving him a rest in his thoughts, psychologically, mentally, physically, maybe allow him doing job. Because the more you keep talking, the more the coach is getting confused. His board is getting confused. He's getting to think twice. That what I want to do for Nigeria. You not get what they go do for this country, they not go talk. And they talk every time. I say Nigeria, na my country. But every time they hear me and they talk and say now for only this country. Me don't see you. They for that place. So, but I don't know. I'm not sure. But where we don't see, where we get politician, where they give us manifesto when not they manifest. They go hard. Make I get Nigerian politician as role model. It go hard. They don't even convert football and politics join. The game now of football, the beautiful game of football is now being changed to political arena. People that governs our game know nothing about the game. Shebi Ideye now don't go retire now. Would they wait? Me will switch Ideye go do. Not be to retirability. You know, how many of Nigerian players? See, I think they need to better themselves. Get yourself better. How many of Nigerian players now, administrative wise, they do well? Shout out to names like Oluwaseyi Olofinjana. Shout out to big names like Emenalo. Emenalo is the sporting director in, what's it called, in Saudi Arabia. You don't want to calculate, forget Boniface now. You don't want to check his net worth. Even for Google, they don't kind of come out. Because they know he's earning a lot. Now, you're not just earning a lot because you're doing the job. You're doing the job because you know it. You're passionate about it. We are schooled for this job. Nigeria player will go play ball, you go. Do you want the young players not be to play ball, say you go coach you. Some of them will just play ball, you go relax. Tomorrow, one sickness that go hold and they'll say, we need money. And NFF self, I know even they try too. Because most people look at how do people play for you? Who is NFF? Nigeria. So I'm talking to Nigeria generally. Now, how do people play for a nation? At the end of the day, nothing to show for it. Now this one, they say all those boys they born for England. They say Nigeria, they call England, they call you. Fashion knows the story. When you make your debut for a British side, 1, 2, 3 games, may not play against F. You guys are catching with the follow. But I'm not saying that is okay. I'm only saying that we can be better off. Nigeria Football Federation, I beg, me na help us. Me will make sure say everything makes sense. Me for lecture. Nations Cup, they come now from Morocco. And that's 31 December. Rabat, we go to Morocco, go play. We don't qualify for that one. That was yesterday. We go about try for that one. But the biggest money in football, the biggest thing in football world is the World Cup. Who no one go World Cup? Make I even go World Cup. See, if better say you come up for group stage and say you not even go at all. And that's how bad it will be. But quickly, let's leave our news and talk about Alexander Isak with his highlight. Isak is in the news transfer saga. Newcastle have no intention of allowing Alexander Isak leave in light of bombshell statement. The club have pursued alternative and would have explored sale to Liverpool, but message from top last night is clear. He's been told he's staying at the club. So Isak will not believe it. But according to Newcastle, they said, we are disappointed to have been alerted to a social media post by Alexander Isak. This evening, we are clear in response that Alexander Isak remains under contract and that no commitment has been made by a club official. Alexander Isak cannot leave Newcastle right now this time. According to some sporting sources, Alexander Isak wants to make a move, and it's always very clear since July. He only wants Liverpool. He doesn't even want to discuss any other option with Newcastle and never considered Al Hilal, despite reports. One thing about sports, or football rather, he's not been training with the team. Is he loved by the Magpies in St. James Park? They love him so well. Alexander Isak, let's even have his highlights. So when I see why they talk, where they score good, if he catch you, he knows nothing about just the post, now you know. But it's about a call. When we talk about players going to club side, who am I? If Liverpool come me beside there for this VOP TV, say I no go serve, the station self go vest for me. See Isak now, see player where they score go. The goals when they score not be person made. So why will he not? See, he wants to make a move. He needs to leave. He wants to leave for Liverpool. If they don't want to sell him, I think they will have to think twice. They need a replacement. He wrote a statement and said, this is not what we talked about. This is not the news. We talked about a lot. Why are they saying something else? So, but I'm not in support of players trying to boycott move. And some of these players, when the team don't pin them, they can't go their social media, can't go delete everything. Now, so when they call that one, maybe say you won't go where they call them, West Ham, no be West Ham, Tottenham, you are Wissa, don't go delete everything, you won't go Tottenham because of Thomas Frank. So he's also trying to boycott the move, but he did wrong by going to say that He had a thigh injury. He was caught on cameras, footage shows. He was playing, having, what's the word? I think that's, has like body build. And then he was doing some trainings with Socieda's facility. And that's bad. But is it about Isak? Is he good enough to go? Yes, he's good. If Liverpool go sign this boy, bros, you know, go on know how they want to play. Because Liverpool has got Virgil van Dijk. They got Ibrahim Konate. They got Frimpong, a new signing, Milos Kekes as well. And the midfield is compacted. Dominic Szoboszlai. Gravenberch did not play the last time because he saw yellow. And Mark Allister, World Cup winner. They have quality players to talk about in their midfield. So Liverpool good to go. But you go up front, Mo Salah, Hugo Ekitike, Godi Gakpo. But if they get Isak, the question is, what happens to Hugo? He has shown us in his first 2 games that he's good to go. Community Shield, where they lost to Crystal Palace, he scored. Their last game against Bournemouth in the Premier League, the first game they played for the league, he scored. So is Liverpool good enough? They are good to go. Let me tell you, Liverpool is what's the word? They are one of the high contenders in this Premier League season. For Arsenal, they are also a good side to talk about. So you cannot write off Arsenal, but they've got the Messiah now. That's what they want, Gyökeres. And also for those people who saw that very game and also confusing and saying Gyökeres is not good, please, don't be so they walk. He's a new signing. A benefit of a doubt to not be wrong. He's a proven player. He's a world-class player in front of goals. Victor Gyökeres. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but Arsenal, watch out for Arsenal. With the Iberiche is they joining them, bros. They fear me to talk. But let's quickly talk about the world of tennis. Jack Draper follows Roger Federer. Tiger Woods part with split major brand. Jack Draper officially confirmed the split from sportswear giant Nike on the eve of the US Open. Draper has been a Nike athlete throughout his field-legend career so far, but that contract reportedly expired recently. The world number 5, however, decided not to renew with the biggest global sport brand. Instead, the 22-year-old has signed a multi-year deal with US athleisure brand Vori. Draper will develop a signature line with Vori, but will wear the brand at the US Open. He kicked off his campaign in the newly revamped mixed double alongside Jessica Pegula, which is taking place before the singles event. And also moving on that same news, according to Draper, he said, "For me, style is about how you carry yourself, what you wear, and owning who you are without hesitation." Now, away from that, we'll quickly jump into the boxing world to wrap up the show this morning. Yes, depending on where you're watching from anyways. Daniel Dubois is in the news. He said he was upset with his performance in the knockout loss to Alexander Usyk and felt he needed a change from trainer Don Charles, according to manager Sam Jones. Daniel Dubois confirmed the split on Monday, ending an 18-month partnership that saw the 27-year-old rise to heavyweight world champion and come within reach of undisputed glory before falling to Alexander Usyk at Wembley. Now, quoting Daniel Dubois on the show, he said, "I can confirm I have parted ways with Don Charles." He said this in a statement. "I have immense gratitude to Don for the time and effort he's put into me over the last 18 months. And I wish him nothing but success going forward." Now, under new management, Daniel Dubois faces a familiar rebuilding task. It's parts he's worked before, bouncing back from his shock defeat to Joy Joyce, and also that was in 2020, and his first loss to Usyk 2 years ago. So when you have a fight with Usyk, you know he's an international. Usyk is good to go anyhow. But I like Daniel Dubois, and I'm believing that he's not done wrong. You know why? He's feeling I need rejuvenation. I need a revampment. I need a change, and that's a decision he's made. Sam Jones stressed the decision was driven by Dubois, so his hunger to return to the top, not a reflection of Charles' work. So for those who might be thinking, should Charles go? Charles go. He don't go. So it's about Jones saying this, and Daniel Dubois knows what he wants himself, or what he wants for himself rather. Now, he spoke to Sky Sports News, and he said, "I've been around Daniel for just over a week. He's decided he needs a fresh team, a new voice, a new plan, but that's not to diminish anything Don Charles has done. He's done a fantastic job." Now, I tell you, he said they shared some incredible nights. The AJ fight at Wembley was iconic, and Don played a massive role in that. But this is life. Daniel felt he needed a change, and that's what happened. You know, sometimes in life, when people want a change for themselves, people feel like it's pride, or they say they are proud. No. I, for one, want to work with the best of the best. That's what Emma Raducanu is doing in the tennis world. Lewis Hamilton in Formula 1 wants the best for himself. He made a move from Mercedes to Ferrari. Max Verstappen feels is good at Red Bulls, that's why he's still there. So it's about your branding, it's about what you want for yourself. If Daniel Dubois feels he's done with Don Charles, then why not he's make the best call for himself? So let's just wait and see how it unfolds. He has had a fight with big names. The AJ one is what we're talking about. He's had a fight with Isak. So if you look at his pedigree, Daniel Dubois, I am a fan of Daniel Dubois. He knows the court well. He has that punch power. His kilos is great to talk about. So let's allow him to do what he wants for himself and live the dream he wants for himself. No one is saying he's letting Don Charles go because of he's not good enough. No, of course not. But because he wants to change. See, you need to up your game every day. Like I always say, there is nothing wrong in starting small. But there is everything wrong when you're settling for less. It means that you're trying to settle in a place. If you want to find yourself in the news, you want to put yourself out there, you just have to put yourself in the face of people, put yourself in the face of the media. You know what? They will talk about you, but you must learn to do it right. So he's not wanting to be just down the pecking order. Daniel Dubois is big now, I don't know him, he's good. But because he wants the best for himself, he's saying, Don Charles, with all due respect to say, I'm sorry, we need to part ways. And that's a split decision. Everybody wants to work with the best. Why is a man that can run after Roger Federer? Why? Do you know Novak Djokovic? You know who he's working with? So all of these things are just about people wanting the best for themselves. And people are like, no, you want this one, you don't use that more, you don't use that, don't be using that dump. Now you just want the best thing for yourself. Djokovic, 7 international, well talked about, good on the court, he knows it very well. That's why he got himself someone better off and ready to go. But then I have to read out this one. This one says, if them sack Chelle, that's the end of football dreams. Let me see. That's the end of football and dreams will surely. I presume he's trying to say that will be the end if we don't get to bring in, if we let Chelle go. But like I already said on the show, I need to advise for the last time. This is my letter to the Nigerian Football Federation. The least you ever do for yourself is to let the manager go. This is not the time to let Chelle go. We are in a precarious situation, whatever you want to call it. If you let him go now, whose report do you believe? Who comes next to make it all right for Nigeria? But we'll see how it goes up from then. My name is Kizzy Ken. I'm signing out on the show. Tomorrow I'll be here, and that will be a Friday. And guess what? On Friday, we don't talk about it in the English version. We go from the south. I'm representing, and it'll be about the pigeon show, and it's a sports show to the core. Yes, up until then, I am the only football player without a jersey. My name is Kizzy Ken. We have the midday news coming up next, and I'll see you tomorrow. Why not? Peace out.